Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a story called Shadows of Survival, and it's all about how the biggest shifts in history, well, they're often felt in the smallest, most personal moments. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We tend to think of history as these huge, loud events, wars, laws, protests. But for the people actually living through it, history was often just a quiet, sudden shift, a single moment that changed absolutely everything. So let's step into this world. Our story kicks off with what looks like a totally ordinary day in a small southern town back in the 1940s, a time and a place where life was really governed by a strict set of rules that were never written down and almost never spoken out loud. Just imagine it, that familiar, comforting sight of a father coming home after a long day at work. It's that rhythm, that signal that the workday is done and the family is together and safe. And inside, the mother's in the kitchen getting dinner on the table. The air is probably filled with those everyday sounds and smells of home. On the surface, everything is exactly as it should be. Outside, you can hear kids laughing, playing. It's just a picture of pure innocence and freedom, a world that feels completely safe. But that feeling, it's about to be shattered. And here it is, the turning point. A single moment on a sidewalk. That's all it took to change this family's life forever. This timeline just shows how fast it all happened. First, an accidental bump, a simple mistake. Then, a moment of confusion. There was no yelling, no argument. And then came this silence. That heavy, dangerous kind of silence that's thick with unspoken threat, The kind that's so much worse than any words. But the incident didn't just end there on the street. That night, fear followed them home. It seeped right through the front door and into every corner of their lives. And this right here shows the immediate consequence. It's so stark. Before, the kids played freely outside. After, they were kept indoors. In one single moment, their entire world had shrunk, and the outdoors was no longer a safe place to be. So the parents, they had to start teaching their children a whole new set of rules, the kind you'd never find in a textbook. These were lessons in survival. How to speak softly, where you were not allowed to go, when to just look away. And probably the hardest lesson of all, that their safety now mattered way more than their freedom. And this wasn't just a lesson for a day or a week. The weight of that one single moment would be carried for a lifetime. It left a lasting emotional scar that no one could see. This table really shows the lasting damage. The fear they felt that day, it just ate away at their confidence. The silence taught them to be quiet, to not take up too much space, and that shaped their personalities. And that caution they had to practice, it became an ingrained habit, a part of who they were. This phenomenon actually has a name: generational caution. It's how these survival tactics, born out of pure fear, get passed down through quiet lessons and warnings, shaping the lives and the confidence of generations to come. And here's something that is so crucial to understand. This life-altering event was completely invisible to the outside world. It never made the headlines. There was no court case, no march, no public outcry. It was a private history, a silent wound. And this really brings us to the heart of the whole story. The fight for civil rights wasn't only waged in Washington or on the streets during marches. It was also fought in quiet living rooms, through the lessons parents had to teach their kids just to help them survive another day. So as we close this out, we're left with this one thought. This family, they did it. They survived. But at what cost? They lost their freedom, their confidence, a piece of their voice. It really makes you wonder, what is the true price of survival?